Welcome to another story made by Oracle 1. The Tower of London stood shrouded in the cold, unforgiving mist that crept beneath its ancient battlements. Its granite walls loomed like silent sentinels watching over the city, guarding secrets both whispered and screamed in the dark. On this bleak May morning in 1536, the weight of history pressed down with a crushing inevitability, for within these walls awaited the most famous prisoner the Tower had ever housed, Anne Boleyn, Queen of England and the second wife of King Henry VIII. But this tale is not hers alone. In the shadowed corridors where loyalty and treachery entwined, a young maid named Ellsworth found herself caught in a perilous web of accusations, a humble handmaid accused of a crime she did not commit. Ellsworth had been brought to the Tower under the guise of duty, summoned from a quiet village to serve within the royal household. Her father had once been a soldier at the king's behest, and her family held some small favor in court circles, enough to secure her appointment as a lady's maid within the queen's chamber. She was no noblewoman, but she had eyes bright with hope and a heart buoyed by quiet devotion. Yet, nowhere on the map of her dreams had she imagined the Tower to become her prison. The day it all began, she was taking her accustomed place within the Queen's apartments, arranging fresh linens with trembling hands when the guards came, a squad of stern-faced men whose stony expressions told of grim news. Anne Boleyn had been charged with adultery, incest, and treason. The very woman Ellsworth admired for her courage, intelligence, and charm was now branded a traitor. Taken from the room she maintained, Anne was led away to the bloody Tower, where darkness and despair awaited. Ellsworth remained behind, but her world turned to ash when she herself was accused of colluding with Anne to conceal a forbidden letter. The charge was baseless, the accusation perfidious, a desperate ploy by those who sought to cleanse the Queen's name through blame wherever they could spread it. Yet, in the merciless halls of the Tower, innocence was no shield against suspicion. If the Queen could be hunted, so too could those closest to her. Days passed with agonizing slowness. Ellsworth was confined within a narrow chamber, its stone walls whispering threats of the unknown fate to come. She could hear the distant clatter of clanking armor, the mournful toll of bells counting down the hours. Outside, the city bustled on, oblivious to the silent cries echoing within this fortress of despair. Her prayers rose to the heavens, beseeching for a sign of mercy, a glimmer of hope to pierce the gathering darkness. The first to visit her was Sir William Kingston, the lieutenant of the Tower, a man known for his rigid discipline yet tempered with a sense of honor. His arrival was unexpected but carried an unspoken promise. He looked upon Ellsworth with a keen eye, noting the tear-streaked face and trembling hands. "You stand accused, girl," he said, voice low and steady. "Speak truth, and it may yet save you." Ellsworth found her voice, fragile but resolute. "I swear, Sir William, I have done no wrong. I held no letter. I bore no treason. I am a dutiful servant and nothing more." Sir William's gaze lingered. "Then you must find proof to clear your name. The Crown demands certainty, not merely words." That night, alone in her small cell, Ellsworth plotted her desperate course. If the walls had ears, so too might they have secrets. She recalled the small alcove near the Queen's chamber where attendants sometimes slipped notes. She imagined a hidden message, one more manipulation amid the storm raging outside. Word traveled slowly through the complex. Ellsworth's only ally was a fellow servant, Margaret, who had been close to Anne's cause but dared not speak openly. Visiting discreetly under cover of darkness, Margaret whispered of a mysterious figure who had been seen near the Queen's apartments shortly before Anne's arrest. A clerk named Thomas Wyatt, rumored to sympathize with Anne, but operating under the King's orders, might hold the key. Armed with this slender thread, Ellsworth resolved to act. But how could a mere maid navigate the labyrinth of power, danger, and deception trapped within the tower. The opportunity came unexpectedly. One afternoon, while cleaning near the guardroom, Ellsworth overheard fragments of a conversation between Thomas Wyatt and one of the guards. They spoke briefly of a secret meeting to exchange documents far beneath the castle, in the old crypts long abandoned. Her heart pounding with fear and hope, Ellsworth slipped away later that evening in the darkness. She crept through the dank corridors, the torches flickering as she descended into the cold depths below. Cobwebs brushed her face, the air reeked of mold and age. There, beneath arches carved from centuries past, she found evidence of correspondence, parchments hastily hidden beneath loose stones. Among them was a letter addressed to Anne, written in the familiar hand of Wyatt. Ellsworth read, her eyes wide with astonishment. The letter denied any nefarious plots, insisting Anne's innocence and beseeching the king for clemency. A desperate plea for justice. She had found her proof. But how could she present it? Returning to her cell, she concealed the documents beneath her shift. The following day, she took counsel with Sir William, cautiously laying out her discovery. Surprised but wary, he promised to consider the evidence but warned that the king's wrath was a force to be reckoned with. Days blurred into nights as the wheels of fate turned inexorably. On the morning of the execution, Ellsworth was summoned before a tribunal, faced with stern faces and unforgiving eyes. Her evidence was presented, contested by the Crown's lawyers, who dismissed the letter as a forgery designed to mislead. The Queen's accusers sneered, accusing Ellsworth of forging it herself to save a fallen idol. Yet Sir William, compelled by his honor, rallied for her. The lieutenant's intervention spared Ellsworth the worst, but the stain of suspicion lingered. She was exiled from court service, sent back to her village stripped of rank and favor. Ellsworth left the tower at dawn, the tower's enormous silhouette melting behind her like a nightmare she could not shed. Anne Boleyn was taken to the scaffold that same day, her life severed beneath the axe, but Ellsworth carried with her the quiet conviction that truth might yet outlive tyranny. In the years to come, tales whispered of Ellsworth, the brave maid who dared challenge the mighty forces of the realm. Her name became a symbol of resilience, a testament to the fragile courage housed within those history often casts in shadows. And within the tower's ancient stone, the ghosts of secrets and innocence alike rested uneasily, waiting for the day when justice might be remembered not as a privilege of the powerful, but the right of all mankind. For more stories, like and subscribe.